Well, it's Budget 2016 again, and I have in the studio with me Mike Pothier, who is the Research Coordinator for the Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Office. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Terry.
Well, this budget, of course, is going to have to deal with a number of social questions in an indirect way, financial way. And one of the major ones is unemployment, surely.
Yeah.
What do you think should come out, or would you like to see emerge from the budget?
I think in every budget speech that I've listened to, in every State of the Nation speech that I've listened to, government's plans to create jobs, or what's now called work opportunities, have featured very strongly, and yet...
Isn't there not a difference between work opportunities
there's
and
a big
jobs?
difference. There's a huge difference.
Would you like to spell it out?
Well, one has a sort of air of permanence about it. The other thing could be a 3-week contract to go and chop out alien vegetation. Be that as it may, it seems that none of those targets are ever actually reached. And we sit with whatever it is now, 8 million, 8 point something million people or more unemployed. Officially. And we've got used to it. In any other country, it would be a national emergency were that to happen. But we seem to just be content to live with that huge figure, and it's really not good enough. I contrast that to the situation where it's reported, at least, that corporate South Africa is sitting on a huge cash pile. People talk about more than 600 billion rands, which is not being invested in new factories, new equipment, and new jobs, because of political uncertainty and economic policy uncertainty, etc. But that argument begins to wear a little bit thin after a while. At what stage is corporate South Africa actually going to say it's in our hands, really, to make this country work, to take that risk? That money, after all, is money they've earned from us, from the people.
Isn't there a fundamental contradiction here between if you employ more people, it costs more money, it means a cut in profits. And therefore, corporate South Africa has to operate on the basis of the profit motive.
They should also be wise enough to see that if this rate of unemployment continues, eventually not just the economy is going to implode, but the country as a whole can implode. Stability, democratic politics can all come to a shuddering halt if those 8.5 million people get angry about it.
Do you think we should then have prescriptive investment?
I don't know about that. That's not the sort of policy area that the church would want to prescribe on. But we would want to encourage the people sitting on that money to act more responsibly with it. If necessary, take a bit of a risk. Your new factory might not work out, but at least try, rather than sitting on the money.
Well, what about government then bringing in some sort of policy on labor-intensive work? Instead of having, for example, a large construction company using huge heavy machinery which is imported, using labor instead and making that a policy. This has been put forward in the past by some of the trade unions, but been poo-pooed as being not possible. However, it has been shown, I think, that you can, with labor, at the same cost and at the same time frame, but distribute the payment for the job, whatever the job is, more widely.
Again, from the church's point of view, we don't pretend to be experts in economics or in the way that labor works and so on. So we wouldn't want to, again, be prescriptive on that sort of thing. I do think that there's a lot of room for government to incentivize rather than perhaps prescribe such things. And with a bit of imagination, working together with the private sector and with organized labor, you'd think that we could come up with innovative programs of that kind. But perhaps in a more voluntary way if it is done correctly and with incentives.
Well, let's hope that something like that does come about, Mike.
We'll wait and see.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.